data set, next ADAM data set. Okay. Um, okay, so the next one is ADVS, the vital signs. Okay. Okay, sorry guys. So ADVS, so ADAM vital signs. Okay. So I bring the same part so to here. So ADVS, ADLB, ADEG, any related to the finding domains. Okay, the finding domains in the adverse events, all the finding domains, this we call basic data structures. Okay, basic data structures. So the reason why we call the basic data structure, because in this one we have some, the parameters. So when you have any kind of parameters, param cd, param aval. So if you have these kind of variables, so easily you can understand that, okay, this is related to the basic data structure. And what is the basic data structure? Is one record per subject. Okay. No, sorry, multiple record per subject with the different time points and the different, so as per the implementation guideline, they may have mentioned in the basic data structure. So the record level treatment. So at least one treatment variable in this one. So here, the basic structure contain one or more records per subject per analysis parameter per analysis time point. Okay, so either is time points. The vital signs, you remember the vital signs we have collected as per time point also, visit wise and time point wise. So if you have to create any kind of analysis parameter, so on that time, those data set will be considered as a basic data structure. So in the recent interview, they were ask you like ADAX, AEX. So what kind of data structure? Okay. They asked recently because the ADEX doesn't belong to the basic data structure or any other data structure. These are like completely different data structure. Okay, so we call as other data structure. But if you have derived any kind of param or parameters inside the EX data set, I mean in the AD analysis data set, that time will be considered as a BDS. So obviously in the exposure comments, I mean the concomitant medication. So in implementation guideline, the exposure, okay, the concomitant medications, these are we call interventions, okay, interventions. Those ADCM, I mean, okay, ADCM, AD EX, okay, so what else we have? Okay, so these are interventions we consider other type of data structures, right? Okay, other type of data structure. So the ADAE, okay, it's the event occurrence, okay. So ADAE, disposal like clinical events, ADCE. So these events we call occurrence data structures. Occurrence. If you have any kind of occurrence, that kind of data structure. So this is basic data structure. So obviously this is subject level data structure. We should have only one one subject per record. Okay, so this is the difference. So the vital signs will be considered the basic data structure. So obviously it will have more records per subject, okay, and per time point and per visit wise. So that is the difference between VS and LB. So the most of the time, even for vital signs, ADLB, ADLG, if you do one programming thing, and it will be the same thing, you will be do the same thing with LB and AG. All the findings domains, all the findings domains. So whatever the finding domains are here, like ECG, death, inclusion, So whatever, if you have a results from the laboratory or some kind of results for the particular clinical study, on the time you will be having the param and param CD, okay, param, paramcat, parcat, those ones will become, okay, parameters, analysis parameters, those will become. If you check the analysis parameter in our ADAM data set, and there is a, okay, 1 second. So if you go 6th page, so there is a definition for analysis parameter, okay. So how do you derive these parameters? It will be given here, so you have to check clearly. I mean the definition is here, you check the definitions so that you can have better understanding, okay. So anyway, so we can continue. So that's so vital signs will be the BDC data structure. So most of the variables are ADSL. Okay, up to here we just get the information from the ADSL. And this information we got from the vital signs from SDTM. Okay. And the remaining variables we have to derive.
Ali?
Yeah.
Normally, like you're showing all the variable. I mean, this Excel sheet is still showing like all the variables, right? Basically,
yes.
in real time, is this the same variables that we'll be seeing, or we'll have more?
Yes, and because so here you have get everything from the vital signs data set, SDTM data sets, right? So if you have any SDTM data sets, those obviously, I mean in the SDTM level you should need it from the implementation guidelines, right? So those variables should be there, but this variable we haven't considered all the variables from the vital signs from the SDTM. So we just pick up only few variables only. So the reason why we pick up only few variables, because as per our mock shells, okay, the tables and listings and mock shells. So either you may have VS test 3, VS test, you may have that kind of table, or you won't be have those ones. So it depends on your mock shells. Okay, if you go to the mock shells, I'll just show an example. So I'll just take the tables. So there is a one table here for the vital signs. Okay, this is the vital signs. I'm just showing it as an example for the vital signs for one table. Okay, so here you have parameter. which is the analysis parameter, and visit wise, time point wise, statistics. So based on these columns only, you have to keep it in your specification data set. Okay, specification, sorry, in the specification, what are the variables based on your mark shell only, you keep it. The statistician will keep in the ADAM specification. Because here is only one table. In the real time, in the clinical project, you may have for the vital signs maybe 10 or 15 tables. So you will be have more variables, okay, for ADVS. So it depends on the mark shell, how many variables you show. It's not be the same variables in the real time. You may have some more, or most of the time you will be have these, a visit. Obviously, any kind of BDS structure, they will ask you in the question also, what are the some common variables, okay? Some common variables in the BDS structure. So you say like a visit n, param CD, aval CD, base change. These are the common ones. So if you check the ADAG or ADLB, so if you check the ADLB also, you will have the same thing. So you see here, so you have param CD, a visit n, change analysis. So these are some common variables in the BDS structure. So you can say in the common, in case in the interview, if they ask you what are the some common variables, so you can say those variables will be enough. But it depends on the mock shell, you may have some more. So don't worry, those derivation will be given here, the comments how to derive those ones, and you can have understanding, and you have to write as a programmatical. They will explain everything here in the derivation.
Okay. And just last question, Ali. So this mock shells,
Yeah.
do we have to buy hard? Not necessary, right? Because like
What do you
those
mean?
listings and like these tables, who will create this? Like, I mean,
Yeah, the statistician will create this table.
so if you, okay.
So
Biostats
usually
people will develop this.
usually what happened, the client, they will send the requirements based on their the mark shells, and if they need any kind of changes, the statistician, biostatistic, he will be changing. Either the principal statistical program also can able to change, or the lead programmer, the manager level, those people also can able to change as per the requirement of the client. Okay.
Okay.
So in the clinical study, some the reports are keep changing. Okay, so once you finish all the tables, you will send to the clients, and he will check, and he will ask, okay, remove this statistic, we don't need statistic. Instead of statistic, you do something else, just do the average. So they will request, they will request, and so you change the table number. So we don't want table 14.3.1, and we put 1a. So they will ask you, so on the time you will be changing. Okay, you will be change, instead of statistic, you will put only average.
Okay.
Something else, the incidence and average, those are the other tables they will ask you. So it keep changing, and if something is changing, you have to in the ADAM level, they will be update. Okay. In some studies, you don't need to do the in ADAM level, you just change it in the programming, in the table only. So you change the programming table, because so these are the variable are common, so you just change in the calculations, right? So in the statistic, obviously you do in the table programming only. You do like proc means. So you remove the proc means and you put average in the proc scale. You do the average only. So you don't need to do any changes in the ADAM level. So you just change the table levels, I mean the table programming level, and you do modified those your tables, whatever the requirement by client. Okay, so but the basic syntax, the basic mock shell was given initially when the clinical program, the clinical study setting up. On the time the client will be given, and based on the time going, and they will keep changing, they keep changing, and once all the submission is done, and that is the last time they done everything.
Okay.
So until the last submission, you have the many changes will come, and you keep updating the programming what their requirements. They ask you to change, they ask you to remove some observation. We don't want those observations. They want you to remove we don't want the safety population, we want only the intended treatment population flag. So they keep changing the requirements. But the basic structure you have to understand, the basic programming. If you know the basic programming, you can change easily. It's not that much difficult. So based on the mock shell only, you will be have the variables in your ADAM dataset. Okay.
Okay. So basically, mock shell and this requirement, I mean, this Excel sheet will be created by the same person almost, right?
So in a typical,
No, no.
so the biostatistician will be have 1 or 2, 3 people mostly. So so it depends, depends on the usually the ADAM data set, ADAM specification will be created by statistics, but I'm not sure some other companies, the principal statistical programmer, he may be created. So because I'm not working in ADAMS right now, so I'm working mostly on tables.
So this specification we will only create, but not the table shells that was created by biostats.
Okay.
Based on that shells, we will create this. This is our job,
Okay.
not creating table shells.
Oh, so we have to create these Excel sheets?
Yeah, based on those mock shells.
Okay. Yeah, for
But-
3-4
but-
years. For 3-4
No,
years.
3-4 years they won't give
No,
you this.
yeah, only experienced people work on specs, even ADAM or SDTM. We
Okay.
mostly work on programming only,
Okay.
unless they have good experience.
Okay.
Okay, so you get this, the header part, ADVS 26. So the SGTM level VS. Okay, so ADVS. So the same thing.
Sorry, only one more question.
Oh,
When
yes.
you're telling, like, you told in ADAM we'll be using macros and all those, but we never used macros so far. It's not mandatory that we have to use macros.
Yes, if you have the macros in your company,
Mm-hmm.
you have to use it because those are validated ones. Those are standard and validated ones.
Okay.
Obviously, you have to use those ones. If you don't have macros, because we are doing everything in the scratch coding here, so we're not doing applying any kind of sorting or macros. But in the real time for the study day, so we are doing study and the imputation, the partial data imputations, you will have a macros. If you have a macros, you are okay to use it. Okay, they will explain you what are the macros also in the specifications. So in case if some companies, they will provide the there is an extra column for the if you have any extra the macros. But usually for all the study day, whatever we're doing the scratch coding here. So there's in some companies, the big company, they will have the standard macros, but in small companies they won't have the macros, so obviously you have to develop a scratch. But it's better if you know the scratch code, you can understand the the macros easily.
Okay.
For example, pxq okay, so there is a keyboard macro, so please, why is not applying here? One second, I'm just trying to. So these are all macros. You can use it.
Okay. Oh, so all the macros will be within the SaaS application itself.
Yeah, because what happened in the companies, you will have to log in some server in the SaaS studio. So everyone is working in there only. So you have the folders are here. For macros,
Okay.
you have a different folder. Analysis data set, you have different folder. Raw data set, you have different folders. All the folders are there.
Okay.
But these are just a keyword. I know the faster way to do these macros, but these are not the real macros. Okay, so just to understand, I'm just trying to do something explain. Why is not applying? Okay. So if I click like this, it does automatic everything. So you just mentioned that your data Adam dot, ADSL by which variable. So like that, you can use it, the keyword, as a good tool, this one. But in the real macros, those are different, right? The percentage macro.
Yeah.
So you give the keyword parameters. Then after that, you give the name of the macro name and percentage mint. So that is different macros. These are just keyword parameters in case if you want to do faster, like free. So they will give the syntax right away, and you put all your tables are here. Okay, so I will send those ones also. For I have that. And this file I have it with me. All those ones are here, even for the merging, So I never use. I just use always. So X match. So give everything, and the TSN and the macro level. So you put the global level, and you sort. So this is a good tool. You can use it in case if you need to know the syntaxes.
Okay.
But because this is the 9.4 version SAS, but if you go to the SAS Studio, so when you do like Procfreak, it will give the syntax everything there.
Yeah, it will automatically start printing.
Yeah, which is more. And you can also do by that manually. There is a column called task, so you can do the how to filter everything. It's easier if you do menu wise. Also, you can do the programming. So which is quite a cool thing. If you don't know the syntax, you can do sometimes like if you need to write the logical way, you can do like filter this thing, filter that thing, and so most of the people they don't do it, but in the SAS Studio you can have that option too. But I will explain you once for I have the university edition. I will explain that one thing. Okay, so SQL. Okay. So create table PS1 as select. So I am select all of them from sdtm.vs. And I'm doing sorting. Unix subject device. So you can use the data stepwise also by using the search statement, but it's up to you. SQL no print. I'm bringing the ADSL now, ADVS. No, sorry, ADSL. So create table, ADSL as select star from dot ADSL order by next subject ID. Yeah, like that you copy everything. Okay, so we don't have any errors here. So now we merge both of them, VS2, merge. Okay, so here this is, so anyway we sort by order wise, right? So we don't need to do the proc sort. So ADSL equal to A. Okay, by Unix subject ID. So I'm taking the only common observations. Okay. So multiple lens were up. So Okay, this might cause unexpected results. So let me check. Yeah. Here's 40. Here is 50. So you have to change either in ADSL level or VS1 level. Okay. So you can change the attributes either from VS in the SDTM.
But if you put 50 here, it should be okay, right?
50, let me check. Yeah, it works. Yeah, but anyway, so we can change there in the program, okay, from ADSL or VS. You can change either 50 or maybe 20. I'm not sure the other one, 40 maybe.
Okay.
So you want, but this is a quick way to do it. But you know, in the we have to do in the attributes there in the SDTM level. Okay, so I save it.
No,
So
because
we got all.
sorry, because we got
Huh?
40 and 50 as length in those data sets, because when we are doing attributes, that is the length they would suggest. I mean, they gave us, right?
50 here. I remember the last time. Okay, 1 second. 50 there. Yes. Here is 40. I think we have changed it for an ADSL level. Let me check. Um, because we run this one.
See,
Okay.
40.
Yeah, we ran that one. That's why it's overlap. You know, for here for ADSL. Okay. Now if we change it, you won't have that thing. So either you change there or you can use the length to avoid the truncation. So you have to consider the warning sign. So you always have to check the warning sign also. Okay. So you're not the one. I mean, to ignore that, because what happened when you finish? Okay, see, this is the problem here. The last time you remember, last time we got this problem. 49. 49. What is 49? Because when you are submitting the ADSL data set for submission, you also have to send the log information also. Okay, so your log information should be clear, not like this. Okay, this is not the right way. But I'm not sure why it's coming like this, because probably because most of these variables we got from I'm not sure why it's coming like this. So we have to rectify this thing also, because we're not sending this log information like this to the client. Okay, they will check everything. They put the filter directly there in their system. They put if you have any errors, they put the filters in the log. Or if you log, they check the warnings, they check the notes, each one by one, they check everything. So you have to be very careful when you're submitting your logs. So all should be clear. Okay, even I check, sometimes I check the character for numeric values to converted characters. Those ones we also have to check. Okay, before you sending the log for the QC. Even the QC programmer, he will check those ones also. If you find any kind of warnings and you may miss. So sometimes what happened, so you get your good result in your data set. You have all the information. But if you don't check the logs, sometimes what happen, there is a note like, which statement has more than one by variable. the programmer, the production programmer, like they won't check, they won't check, and they send for the QC, and the QC program you have to check the log also, the log information also you have to check, and you have to inform that there is a node that we have some error, okay, some statement there, so you have to inform them, and they have to correct on their part, and they have to resend again, okay.
Okay.
Because you don't ignore the nodes. Sometimes the nodes are like, for example, in the blue color also they will the variables are uninitialized. So in the final part they check the data set. Okay, we got our data set, everything as per the specification, and we got everything is good, okay, and they think that okay, this is good, and we send to the QC programmer, but they won't check the logs. So they have uninitialized, they have merge statement nodes, or maybe the numeric values convert to character values. Those they won't check, because those are in blue color. They check if you have blue color, those are not the right things, okay. I mean, they check is okay. So but as a QC programmer, you have to check their logs also, check the every, because anyway they will get an observations anyway when you cross compare. If you have merge statement more than one by a variable in the QC programmer, he will catch directly, and he check the log. Okay, we have a statement there, and so he's going to inform to the production programmer to correct that part. And once the correction is done, and the programmer will inform to the QC program to rerun the QC programmer. QC validation. So he, once he check and everything is okay, then okay, he will ready for submission part. Okay, so either like that they can check. Okay, even if the QC programmer missed something, even everything is good, and the statistic review, there will be the statistic review also in the final before submission. So on that time also they will catch, or they will do in the Pinnacle 21 as a batch reprocessing to create XML or format. So on that time also the Pinnacle 21 will give an error, issues. Okay, so any one step you will find out that error, even if you miss in the SDTM level. Okay, so the next one, the next variable. So we got all the VS and the ADSL part. So the analysis visit, okay, analysis visit in numeric format, and the time point, in numeric format. Okay. Okay, so data VS3, set VS2, okay. So here the analysis visit and the visit, what is the difference between visit in SDTM level, okay, and analysis visit in ADAM level? So there is a small difference, okay. No, it's not a small difference, there is a difference, okay. Because as per the mock shells, okay, as per the mock shells, so you see here is a visit. Okay, so for the visit, for here they haven't mentioned anything, okay, they haven't mentioned any kind of information there. For example, if we have information like week wise or month wise in our clinical project, if you go to the vital signs one, okay, this is the SDTM vital signs. If you go to the visit, so we have given in the period 1 and period 2, okay. Basically the period 1 and period 2 are screening, which we don't consider, okay, we don't consider. Okay, sorry, why is this one is truncation? Okay, so I'm gonna check this one, why this one is truncation. Okay, so the period 1 and period 2, we don't consider this one for analysis. These are not for consider for for analysis purpose. So we need to change. We need to change either month wise or week wise or day wise. Okay, then only we can do able to understand. Okay, how many days for period 1 to period 2? There is a follow up. Then there is a wash up period. Those are all visits. Okay, those are all visit. In some studies you will be have visit wise. They like visit 1, visit 2, visit 3, visit 4. So we don't know what exactly the visits. So is our days, you need to change as a days wise or week wise or month wise. Okay. So there is a concept called visit windowing concept. So most of the interviews they will ask you these things. So visit windowing concept. Okay, so if you check implementation guideline, here the data sets. So it was, the BDS, current data structure and other. So there is a table there for categories. Okay, so here, so you see the visit windowing variables for the BDS datasets. So we have a range analysis, window range analysis, window target, upper, the beginning time and ending time, and the difference. So these are the concept. Usually in the SAP they will mention if you have visit windowing. Okay, here we don't have that information here, visit windowing for this project. Okay, so sometimes what happened in the mock shell, in the visit they mention here's the days and months. Okay, so you need to convert, if it is in a period, you need to convert into day format. That visit will be considered as an analysis visit. Okay, for now we don't have anything in our mock shells, so it isn't mentioned. It's just you have to mention period 1 and period 2 only. Okay, but I will send you the PowerPoint PPT in the Word format how to do the analysis visit, and it's very important. Okay, it's very important in the interview prospect. So what is the difference between visit and a visit? If we have a visit wise, okay, so in the SDTM level, if the information given in visit 1, visit 2, or visit 3 like this, you won't consider this is for analysis. Okay, so we have to change it by using these variables, by using these analysis window range, this target, by using this concept. You have to change it either, so either in a week wise or day wise, day wise or month wise, as per the mock shells. Okay, if you change that information, we consider as an analysis visit. Okay, but I will give that visit windowing, but it is very rare. Okay, in the real time also, it's very rare to get this visit windowing concept. Okay. It's very rare, but in the SAP they will give you every information. Okay, in the SAP they will provide all this, how to do the visit windowing for the particular clinical study. Okay, each study will be different, so they will ask you only, you have to change in the visit, like visit 1 maybe week 1, in visit 2 maybe week 7. So we don't know exactly, so you need to find out the target and the planned day. That information we have to calculate in the visit windowing concept. Okay, so here we don't have anything, so I'm just directly mapped to the visit only.
Are we connecting again, Ali?
It's done, right? Okay, so we're gonna connect. We will continue tomorrow. Okay.